Boxing Truth here. I want to talk about Anthony Joshua, as his plans have been revealed by Eddie Hearn in a recent interview. And Anthony Joshua may just end up fighting his mandatory challenger before Deontay Wilder, despite Anthony Joshua only being a champion for a mere 5 months. He won the title back in April, and he may end up fighting tougher opposition than that heavyweight cherry picker, Deontay Wilder, who won his strap over a year ago, last January, has yet to fight any quality contenders for his strap within the top 15 rankings in WBC, and has yet to take on his mandatory challenger, something Anthony Joshua will do possibly in the date March of next year, as Eddie Hearn, his promoter, Joshua's promoter, is building up the fight between Joshua and Joseph Parker, trying to build it into even a bigger fight. Perhaps having Joseph Parker fight on Anthony Joshua's undercard for a possible date in November or maybe early December. Right now, the working date is November 26th, and the opponent, the front runner so far, is Kubrat Pulev, who is considered a top 10 heavyweight, has been in there with good opposition, has fought quality opponents, has some solid wins under his belt. The guy's been in there with top heavyweights. He's got experience, and he will be a good test for Anthony Joshua in what will be his first real fight in the heavyweight division. The most seasoned, the most experienced opponents he's faced to date in the heavyweight division in Kubrat Pulev. And the plan is if Joseph Parker gets through for his next fight. Right now he has a fight scheduled for October 1st, which I think is going to go down. It's already scheduled October 1st between Parker and Demetrenko. He's a bigger guy. It'll be an opponent for Parker to get ready for the type of big heavyweights he has to fight if he wants to contend for titles. A lot of the heavyweights are much bigger, taller than he is. So if he wants to be most prepared as possible, he needs to take on bigger opponents, guys around the same size that he's going to have to fight when he enforces the mandatory challenge against Anthony Joshua. That's an interesting fight between Parker and Demetrenko. Demetrenko comes to fight. He's not world class, but he's got the size. He can punch a little bit. He's got a good record. I only think he's lost to Pulev, I believe. I'm not sure. But it'll be a good test for Parker if he can pass it. And then perhaps remain even more active, as Parker's probably the most active fighter in boxing. He's already had 3 fights this year. He's going to have another fight on October 1st, and if he gets past that, his team wants Parker to fight on Joshua's undercard, possibly against David Price. And Eddie Hearn sees it as a win-win for him. Have Parker come on Anthony's undercard, introduce him to the UK public, get him some exposure on the Matchroom Bill, Sky Sports. And if David Price wins, or if Parker wins, it's a win-win for Eddie Hearn. Either the winner of that potential fight between Parker and David Price will be a big money fight for Anthony Joshua for a March date in 2017. I think Eddie Hearn has a hold at the O2 Arena for a potential March date for Anthony Joshua, if all goes well with his next fight, possibly on November 26th against Pulev. Now, the Pulev fight is not signed, sealed, or delivered. Eddie Hearn is possibly going to meet with Sutherland, the guy that promotes Pulev. They'll probably wrap this fight up in the next couple of weeks. It'll be announced. And all Parker has to do is get through his assignments against Demetrenko and possibly against David Price. I mean, he's already the mandatory challenger, but I give him props for staying active and taking on not easy opposition. These guys could derail his mandatory status. It's the heavyweight division. These are big guys he's fighting, and it could derail his plans. But he wants to remain active. He wants to fight, get some experience against bigger heavyweights. He wants to be as ready as possible, and what will be a very tough challenge against Anthony Joshua when that mandatory is enforced. And if all goes well for Joshua, if he gets past Pulev, which I believe he will, it's a good test, but I think Pulev is tailor-made for Anthony Joshua. And he may be just too big, too physical, too good for Joseph Parker. If he gets past those next two assignments, Eddie Hearn's going to pull the trigger and see what he really has in Anthony Joshua. He's going to see if he's the real deal, if he's the future of the heavyweight division. He's going to roll the dice for a big event, big summer event, either against David Haye, Tyson Fury, or Deontay Wilder. It's going to be a big name, a big summer fight for Joshua, if all goes well with his proposed opponents for November and March. And I'm hoping it's Deontay Wilder, because I want Joshua to knock that bitch out. So-called excuse for a champion won't even take on any worthy opponents. Has yet to make a worthy defense of his title. He's been handpicking opponents in the top 15 rankings of WC and Deontay Wilder. Disappointing reign so far, and I would love for Anthony Joshua to end the terrible reign Deontay Wilder has had. Pick up that WC strap and become a more worthy champion, a guy who takes on challenges, who's willing to fulfill mandatory obligations and not jet back home to Alabama before a fight is postponed or canceled. But I'm hoping this Wilder, that's going to be Joshua's first big fight, wherever it takes place, whether it's in Wembley or if it's in the United States. I'm sure Showtime will like the fight to take place in the States, but I will hope it will be Wilder, because I think Joshua beats the shit out of Wilder, knocks him out, and exposes Wilder as just simply a lab project Golden Boy developed and now Heyman's stuck with and has to protect and duck and dodge the toughest challenges for Wilder's career. With Joshua, if he keeps winning, he's got a very bright future. A contract with Showtime, fights being built up, and we're going to see soon enough if Joshua's the real deal and possibly the biggest threat to Tyson Fury. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.